Welcome to Computer Studies for JSS 3. Today we study Web Development, CSS Basics. What is CSS? CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheets. It is a language used to style HTML documents, controlling how web pages look, including colors, fonts, sizes, spacing, and layout. Why CSS? Without CSS, all web pages will look the same, plain black text on a white background. CSS gives web pages their visual design. HTML provides the structure, content, CSS provides the style, appearance. How CSS works with HTML. CSS rules are applied to HTML elements. A CSS rule has two parts. Selector identifies which HTML element to style. Declaration specifies the style to apply. Example, P, color, blue. This makes all paragraph text blue. The selector is P, paragraph. The declaration is color, blue. The property is color. The value is blue. Ways to add CSS to a web page. 1. Inline CSS, added directly to an HTML element using the style attribute. Example, less than P style equals color, red, greater than hello. Inline CSS affects only that one element. 2. Internal CSS, written inside a style tag in the HTML head section. Affects all matching elements on that page. 3. External CSS, written in a separate .css file and linked to the HTML file. Best practice, one CSS file can style many HTML pages. Common CSS properties. 1. Color, sets the text color. Example, color, green. 2. Background color, sets the background color. Example, background color, yellow. 3. Font size, sets the size of the text. Example, font size, 16px. 4. Font family, sets the font. Example, font family, Arial, sans serif. 5. Font weight, controls text boldness. Font weight, bold. 6. Text align, aligns text. Text align, center. 7. Margin, space outside an element. Margin, 10px. 8. Padding, space inside an element, between content and border. Padding, 5px. 9. Border, adds a border around an element. Border, 2px solid black. 10. Width and height, set the dimensions of an element. CSS selectors. 1. Element selector, selects all elements of that type. P, selects all paragraphs. 2. Class selector, selects elements with a specific class attribute. Highlight, you use class equals highlight in HTML. 3. ID selector, selects one specific element with a matching ID. Hashtag header, you use ID equals header in HTML. 4. Universal selector, selects all elements. Asterisk. CSS colors. Colors can be specified as color names, red, blue, green, hex codes, hashtag FF0000 equals red, RGB values, RGB, 255.0.0 equals red. Remember, CSS equals cascading style sheets, language used to style HTML documents, controls how web pages look equals colors plus fonts plus sizes plus spacing plus layout. Why CSS? Without CSS all web pages will look same equals plain black text on white background. CSS gives web pages visual design. HTML equals structure/content plus CSS equals style/appearance. How CSS works? CSS rule has two parts equals selector equals identifies which HTML element to style plus declaration equals specifies the style to apply. Example equals P with color blue equals makes all paragraph text blue. Selector equals P/paragraph plus declaration equals color blue plus property equals color plus value equals blue. Ways to add CSS. Inline CSS equals added directly to HTML element using style attribute equals affects only one element. Internal CSS equals written inside style tag in HTML head section equals affects all matching elements on that page. External CSS equals written in separate .css file plus link to HTML file equals best practice equals one CSS file can style many HTML pages. Common CSS properties: color equals sets text color, background color equals sets background color, font size equals set size of text, font family equals sets the font weight equals controls text boldness / bold, text align equals aligns text / center, margin equals space outside an element, padding equals space inside an element between content plus border, border equals adds border around element, width plus height equals set dimensions. CSS selectors: element selector equals selects all elements of that type equals selects all paragraphs, class selector equals selects elements with specific class attribute equals highlight equals use class equals highlight in HTML, ID selector equals selects one specific element equals hashtag header equals use ID equals header in HTML, universal selector equals selects all elements equals asterisk. CSS colors: color names equals red plus blue plus green, hex codes equals hashtag FF0000 equals red, RGB values equals RGB, 25500 equals red. Thank you.